All right.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome back to Make It Make Sense, a podcast that really offers grace through the mess of life and wisdom for the journey. Mary's going to provide the wisdom. I'm going to provide the mess. That's kind of how
No,
it
no,
works
no,
with
no,
us.
no, no. It's messy for everybody. It's always messy in some areas, And the thing about the mess and the grace for the journey is that grace for the journey gives you the ability to stop hiding the mess.
And really to help others when they
Mhm.
find themselves in a mess.
Yeah.
Because I think that, sometimes we think that we are, that we've got it all together.
Or
And
we
then
give the impression.
life has a way
Yeah,
of humbling us.
yeah.
And really, the last one we taped, who knows what order we're going to
Yeah.
actually put
One of
these
the
out.
ones.
But one of them was pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And today we thought we'd lighten it up just a little bit
Hopefully.
because usually we do laugh more than
Well, actually, we pretty much laughed a lot for heaviness.
yeah.
But it is that ability to share the truth.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
that really helps other people so
Well, I
much.
heard someone talking about that there is such a lack of authenticity today, and that that's what people are really looking for.
Mhm.
And I think for me, one of the things that's always drawn me to you and made me feel safe enough to ask questions or to seek things is that you've always been authentic. And I think people would say that about me.
Absolutely.
That
Absolutely.
what you see is what you get.
It's too hard to be anything or anyone but yourself because you have to start remembering everything you
Well,
are supposed to be.
and you know what? I think we've been through so much that I stopped trying to pretend like we had it all
Yeah.
together because life is messy and things happen. But what recently happened in the news it really wasn't news, but it's taken over the internet
It's become news.
is the Coldplay situation, the concert where the
Coldplay, for
CEO,
those of you who might not know, is a band.
it's a band. Well, they know it by now.
Well,
They've heard it. But anyway, this couple was at a concert on the Kiss Cam, and they were not with their spouses. They were obviously in a romantic relationship.
and obviously the spouses, neither of their spouses knew they were in this relationship, and let alone that, going to a concert. Why would you go to a concert anyway?
I don't know, but on our way over here, it made me laugh because on my way here this morning, I was driving. We're in Memphis, and it is oppressively hot here today. Like seriously, I think the heat index is like 110 today.
Yeah.
But on the way here, I'm driving, and there's a lady next to me in a car, and she's got the window rolled down. She's in a luxury car, a very, very nice car, and she's leaning out the window in this oppressive heat, taking a puff of her cigarette and holding it way out so that it doesn't get in her car.
Oh yeah, we don't want the smoke in here.
It made me laugh thinking, does she think she's hiding?
Yes, yes.
Like she has no idea who's going to drive by.
No.
So it just made me laugh about and think about the Coldplay situation in the Kiss Camp.
And that has become an internet sensation because this Kiss Cam thing has been played over and over again because people find themselves in those situations a lot, and where they are caught by someone doing something they shouldn't be doing, and the man in this situation, he just sort of jumped down from the seat, and when hit on the floor, the woman turned around and looked the other way. But I was torn because yes, that was funny, and there's so many things going around about it. But on the same side, I think that's a little bit of an invasion of privacy to put people on a kiss cam. Because people have been on those big cameras and they didn't know each other. They just happened to be sitting next to each other.
Oh, and then they just
look like, But I mean, do you want to be on the big screen when?
Oh my gosh, people, like when you go to those sporting events, most people are just, trying to get on the big screen.
Oh,
so, I don't know how, I'm not sure. I feel terribly sorry for each of their spouses and for their children.
Well, yeah, this all over this is all.
And I've kind of felt like, why are we so obsessed with someone else's
misery?
That they got caught, and when like the lady smoking on her way here, it's none of all of us have bad moments.
Well, you're a good person because somebody else would have filmed that and put it on the internet.
Oh, gosh.
Taken her license plate, taken a picture of her license plate, the car, whatever, and put it on the internet and said, smoking is bad for your health or something like that. I mean, it's not the action so much. Those people are responsible for their actions.
Yeah.
But it's the way that we celebrate the actions.
Yeah.
And by celebrate, I mean in a negative way.
Well, and
put that on.
I mean, and it almost makes it seem like, hey, here's something that the CEO is doing and this lady is doing, and it's almost like
she was HR. She was
HR, but it's almost like everything
you can't make it up
in all of the movies and the series. That everybody does it. Everybody does it, and so. Part of it is like he just did it and got caught, and part of it is like, oh, this is just normal.
You know what? This whole thing now, this is really far-fetched. You talk about conspiracy theories. The whole thing could have been it was a big blessing or boom for that little company nobody knew anything about.
Oh, yeah.
Now the companies all over the internet, people are actually seeking it out for business and things. So,
well, I'm sure they've at least looked to see who they are and what they do.
Yes, they do.
I guess that's the old saying that any publicity is good.
Well, yes.
Good or bad.
Unfortunately, the unintended consequences were better than the intended consequences, which was the affair. So we're assuming, I guess it's true, but did anybody verify that?
I don't know. I think there was.
When he jumped off.
Well, there was some talk that she had changed her name on the internet, which I can totally understand that to protect your children and your own privacy. How
can you change your name on the internet?
I think that just on her Facebook, she went back. She just either she took her page down or whatever. Speaking of that, I mean, my husband took his Facebook down when it was his birthday because he didn't want anybody. So I guess, you can activate and deactivate, accounts.
Yes, but you can also not tell the truth.
He didn't not say but he just didn't want it to be acknowledged.
Well, my birthday popped up. You know how they say so-and-so is going to be celebrating their birthday?
Yeah.
And it says the year. They're going to be their year.
Oh, yeah.
Well, mine popped up and it said, Dr. Mary McDonald is celebrating her 54th birthday. I remembered, oh my gosh, did I make the year that young? I didn't put the real year down, of course, because I didn't want it on the internet.
But you didn't realize that it was going to be put out there for everybody else. You thought it was just
no
for
way
you.
That woman is. Well, she looks really bad for 54, but I'm going to be 54.
I'm not going to comment.
I know you are, because you are.
No, I'm not 54.
Am I younger than you now?
Yes, you're younger than me now.
I'm younger than my children too.
Yes.
But that's what happens, though. Things always pop up, which is not the reason that you should do the right thing, because somebody might find out.
It's true. I think
you
that
just have to be grounded in some anger.
I remember. I mean, going back to COVID, even, and I remember thinking, I want to be the same person behind closed doors as I am exposed to the world. So I remember thinking, that was for us, that was a time that, we just had a tragedy. So it was easier probably for me because I thought, what do I care about what people say or this or that? But, I was absolutely respectful of whatever the rules were, where we were going. But if there was a choice, my choice was not to wear the mask, and in church especially, because I thought, I don't want to do it just because. and at that time, the majority of people were wearing masks.
Right.
But I just chose not to because I thought, if I don't have to, I'm not going to. And it was kind of funny because I would see husbands and wives, and one time Joe and I did too. We had one of us had a mask on and one of us didn't.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was kind of funny because I didn't know what he was doing, because the whole mask, I'm facing forward, so I never looked over it. And then when it comes to doing the silent piece, I look over.
He's got his mask on.
And we always kiss for the silent piece. And so it was like.
Did you keep his mask on?
He kept his mask on. So, but it was kind of funny.
Yes, because you live in close proximity all the time. So, yeah. Well, masks became fashion statements. I remember they had glitter and glam and all kinds of things.
Yeah.
The American flag.
Yeah, and had one to match every outfit.
Oh,
just like your readers, became like your glasses.
Just a fashion statement.
Yeah.
For some people. But for
and I totally understand where some people were really, really afraid.
If some people are really, really sick, then you don't want to catch what they have.
Well, and in that regard, I just let people in my office do whatever they felt comfortable with, and
that's good. That's good. Yeah,
because I think that I
didn't stay in. I really didn't. In fact, I was the one that went out to the stores to get the stuff, and I just didn't feel the need to stay in. And people said, "Oh, be careful. The older you are, the worse it is," and all that. And I thought,
I gave my mom. We were going to go and visit my mom, who is, a few years older than you are, and I gave her the option.
Yeah,
because I said, I don't know how someone else feels,
right.
So I wanted to give them that option. But I think, that's the thing is that in these secrets, is that we impose what our own beliefs are or our own things are on what other people, what we think they should do.
And that caused a big divide because, yes, you have different opinions from other people, but we never imposed them like we did during those years of COVID. We didn't
Hopefully
judge
we won't
people.
go back to doing that.
I don't know. Are we doing it now?
I feel like it's less. I feel like it's less. I was telling you about, I had a friend who, for some reason, this is going back to, a terrible situation, but I have a friend who had a tragedy in her life. And, she was talking about being judged. And, no matter what you go through, you question, you wonder why this, that, the other thing happens, and it doesn't matter if it's an illness, an accident, whatever it is, you tend to question. But I told her, I said, I came to reckon with that when that happens in your life, whether it's tragedy or whether it's scandal, or whether one of your kids goes off the rails or a friend does something that you wish they hadn't done, or even yourself do something, is that when you find yourself in that mess, you can do it any way you want to. You can handle it the best way that you know how, because I think we all think.
And we're all in that mess. We're all in that mess, and it's the grace for the journey. How do you get? I read. Let me see if I can find it. But I read a really great quote yesterday, and took a picture of it.
Oh, I do that too.
This is Warren Buffett. Oh, he said, "You will continue to suffer if you have an emotional reaction to everything that is said to you. True power is sitting back and observing things with logic. True power is restraint. If words control you, that means everyone else can control you. Breathe and allow things to pass." Isn't that
do you know what?
True?
I listened to an interview yesterday with a guy that was I believe he was an advisor to both Obama and to Clinton. And he said, just because someone roars doesn't mean you have to answer. And
Amen.
He said, sometimes the fiercer the roar is the less you need to say. And I thought that's so true, because I think that we all get our hair up, when someone insults us or hurts us.
And people say the meanest things. The language today is worse than I've ever heard in my whole life. I mean, and people seem to think that you get louder and that's a good thing. You get more
sure of yourself.
Yeah.
The
louder you get.
I almost feel like humility is a superpower now.
Yes, it is a superpower.
Like,
I like that.
That
yes.
if someone can laugh at themselves or doesn't have all the answers, that they might really be the person that has the most wisdom to offer.
That's right. And if you're in a room where people are screaming at you or getting louder or saying things that to hurt you, it's like Warren Buffett said, true power is sitting back and observing the things with logic. And I often think these people, if they're saying that about me, it's not about me. They're angry about something else. Something in their life is going wrong. Something's happened. Their sense of loss of control is harder on them.
Oh, and there really is something to say about people who can keep their cool in crisis.
Oh, yes.
There really is.
Yes, absolutely.
That's a very difficult thing.
Get within themselves, just breathe and not react, but respond appropriately. Response is so much stronger than reaction.
Well, I learned in my company early on, I used to just beat ourselves up, and myself for sure, because I was responsible and, had so many hats at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But if anything went wrong, I was just so, would just be like, golly, how did that happen? Why did that happen? I just expected perfection out of myself.
Yeah.
And then I came to realize that like companies like FedEx or airlines or large companies, they have complaint departments. They have customer service that handles those problems that come in.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me just step back and realize that everybody has problems.
Mm-hmm.
Everything has, things that come up. And if we can, like you said, learn to respond and not react, it really takes that beating yourself up out of it, because you give yourself grace to know that, we all have mess ups and things that happen, and it's the way that you make it right.
And sometimes it's not anything to do with you or the situation, but you happen to observe it. I'll never forget my granddaughter at a fairly young age. We were checking out at a store, and the person in front of us was giving the cashier a really hard time. I mean, just like really mean. And the body language is like just unhealthy. And the cashier didn't say anything. She didn't really respond. She just thanked them and they left. And my granddaughter was with me, and she said to the cashier, she looked at me and went, "Your hair looks really gray. How did you do that?" And all of a sudden, this girl that had actually tears in her eyes started to smile. And it was just the idea that she recognized, I guess she must have high EQ. She recognized that this girl needed to be uplifted.
Gosh.
And it changed everything.
And it could so often go the other way.
Oh, yes.
I remember one time going to McDonald's. I like McDonald's.
I do too.
And
I don't ever go there.
Well, I go occasionally. But I was in this McDonald's and ordering something, and the person who was waiting on me, the cashier, was not friendly, was not, and it made me like, golly, I mean, does it take that much just to say, what can I get for you, or whatever it was? And I remember kind of thinking, that just ticks me off, when I was leaving, and I thought, I'm going to let this person affect
the rest of your day. No.
And I just thought, this is so silly.
No.
Like they could, and it made me give them grace to say, you know what, maybe they had a bad day.
Yeah. They didn't wake up this morning, saying, I'm going to get Maureen.
And absolutely not. So,
but that's how you feel sometimes. That it's a personal thing. If you just let go of that and realize that nothing
is personal.
It really is.
Boy, that's part of those 4 agreements.
Yeah.
Take nothing personal.
Yeah.
Um,
But we sometimes think we are so important that everything's about us. Do you know? So then we take offense if somebody cuts in front of you. If somebody, I remember thinking, I was waiting in line in the, was it 10 items or less line?
Oh, 10 items or less?
Yeah, the checkout line.
Yeah.
With speed line, whatever it's called. And I remember this person in front of me, I'm standing there counting the items.
I've done it myself.
And then I thought to myself, are there really 10 items in there? I wonder if that dozen eggs, that's 12 right there.
Well, you know what? But Mary, you could have walked up on them. And you know how sometimes if the cashier's standing there with nobody, even if somebody has a big basket, they'll say, come on.
Oh, they do,
here.
yes.
So that could have happened.
Well, she didn't have 12. I mean, I counted the eggs, dozen eggs as one. But,
of course.
But it was one of those times when I'm in a hurry. So it's like, it's about me. It's like, come on, come on, come on. And I realized, oh, patience is a virtue. It really is. Patience with yourself and others.
Well, I remember someone telling me one time, don't pray for patience. Don't ever pay for patience because then you're going to be tested.
Well, everything you pray for. And
I got to tell you, I've heard so many things that people tell you.
Tell them, pray for whatever you need.
Yeah, pray for whatever you need at the time.
Though I did think I told you the story about my dear friend who was in hospice. And she was in hospice for actually several months. And usually that isn't the case. But she was dying. But one time I was sitting there talking to her and she said, I don't understand what God's doing. I have been in this hospice and I just don't know what he's waiting for. And so I said, well, maybe he's waiting because you have something else to learn. And she was elderly and she said, what else could I learn? And I just said to her, patience.
Did she laugh?
Yes, she laughed. She said, oh, yes, I get it. And then she relaxed. She actually began to relax in hospice. And, then she died. You know what I mean? It's like that's like the blessing and the curse on that.
That's a good lesson. Just that, I think that God teaches us till, like you said, till your last breath.
Yeah.
And, I really wish that more people trusted in that faith. I look at even this thing that happens with, this couple at Coldplay or this lady who's smoking in secret is that, that it's all a lesson and everything is guided, I think, to try and move you in a different direction.
Right. Save you from yourself.
To save you from yourself, I think we could all be saved from ourselves.
Oh, yes, for sure. I know that's true. That's true. And the process is not easy. It's not saying that, move along. No, it's not. You have to really work at saving yourself first.
Well, how do you do that? How do you save yourself first?
Well, other than a lot of prayer and trust, I think it is letting go.
I think it's a lot of prayer and trust.
And the expectations you should put on yourself.
I think that there's so much emphasis on thinking that we do have control over our lives and that we know better what's best for us. And, I feel like I have fought my whole life, or a lot of my life trying to do what I thought was best instead of just letting go and letting whatever comes that day. And trusting that the dreams I had, the ambition that I had, was to direct me in a good place. And if it wasn't, for me to have the ability to allow it to move me in a different direction.
True.
And that's hard.
And what you said is so meaningful because moving in a different direction is not ever easy.
No.
Because you have an outcome that you want to see and it doesn't work. And so to be willing to be open to whatever comes next. Usually it's something better. I've found in my life it has been something much better than what I was thinking about doing or planning to do.
Me too. But at the same time, it is knowing where that stopping point is, because I think some of it is also feels like a test to see how committed you are to something.
Oh, that's true.
So
That's true.
I remember, do you remember, did you ever read the last lecture by the guy who went to Cornell that was dying of
No.
he wrote this book. Many of you may have heard it. And he gave a speech. He gave a commencement speech to, I think, Cornell. Maybe that might have been his alma mater. But anyway, he talked about how God sometimes put roadblocks in to see how bad you really want something, to see if you're willing to crash into that.
Yeah.
And I thought, that can be, it's just like anything else. It can be looked at from different perspectives.
Ways, yeah.
Yep.
But I've been there where I have believed so strongly that what I was doing was the right thing to do, that, you just like crash through those barriers. You think, well, you're not going to stop this. And then there were times when you think, well, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe they're right. Maybe this is not the right thing. So it makes you be more introspective.
Yes.
Is this a vanity project for you? Or is this something that is the right thing to do at this time?
Well, and it's a beautiful thing when you can let the vanity part of it go and find out. That's hard to do. That's hard to do because I think that we all have these egos and we all want to, our egos, I think, help protect ourselves.
Right.
So it will be interesting to see what happens with.
Well, and because life happens, and I was just saying this morning that I was preparing everything, and I thought we were all ready for this, which you were. I wasn't.
I don't know that I was. Like I said, no planning. We don't know what we're going to talk about.
We never do, but then life happened at my house. Things broke. Something happened. We have people were repairing things, so I decided just like to put a scarf on this and make it work. So just change the look and it'll be all right.
And don't let it frazzle your whole day.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't let it frazzle your whole day.
So, if you have a really bad problem, just put a scarf on and say, "Hey, I think you can make it," or lipstick, or whatever it is you want. The new tie, whatever.
Hopefully today we've really gone the gamut today.
Who was it that said it's better to look good than feel good? Oh, I think it was a comedian back in the day.
I don't know.
Well, it was back in the day.
You know what? But looking good does help you feel good.
It absolutely
does. It does. I mean, getting up, taking a shower, and
you don't. I have learned though, it doesn't engender any sympathy from anyone when you are really feeling so bad, but you say, "I'm going to look good." But that's okay.
Well, I think about that poor lady that was
smoking.
No, the one that was on the Jumbotron. And somebody talking about she really needed to get her roots done. I thought, oh my.
Wow, are we hypercritical or what?
It made me kind of like,
I didn't expect to be over the whole entire universe today.
Who knew? But anyway.
So that's why your parents always told you to make sure you had clean underwear on. You never knew what was going to happen. You might go to the hospital.
It's true, but then do they care? Do they? I guess maybe sometime we need to have a paramedic on and ask that question.
Well, the only time I really, I always say, like, take a shower, go to bed. The one day I didn't, and I was helping my mother pack things in the basement of our house. They were moving to a new house, and I was pregnant, like 9 months pregnant. And my feet were so dirty, so filthy dirty. I just was so tired. I just went to bed, woke up in the middle of the night, went to the hospital and had the baby. And all I could think about was, my feet are so dirty.
Well,
I couldn't have washed them.
That we're here to help you through the mess of life. So we're here to help you that if you're pregnant, then wash your feet before you get in bed.
It will bother you.
Don't worry about the pedicure. Just wash your feet. Just wash your feet. Your doctors and nurses will appreciate that.
They'll thank you for it.
That's right. That's right. All right. Well, this is probably a good place for us to wrap up.
I think so.
So, like I said, we're doing this really
for you. We're having a great time.
Yep.
But we want to share the wisdom that we've encountered along the journey, and also the mess, because we all have it.
We all have it. All right. We will see you next time. Like us, subscribe, share us with a friend, do all the things that all the great podcasts tell you to do.
Put us on the Jumbotron.
Yeah. Put us on the Jumbotron. We'll leave it there.
Okay.
All right. See you
Bye-bye.
next time. Bye.